I'll apologize ahead of time. I'm fighting a bit of a head cold and congestion, so I'm going to try to work my way through this without sounding too nasal. I created my site using Wix, and part of the reason I did is because I really liked the theme as it related to the topic I had chosen, which was basic human motion. And the theme in the background here is that runner with the legs, and we'll show a little bit of a feature of that as we go along. Right now I have it in edit mode, and you can see there's lines set up both here and here, which are supposed to define my mobile content area. Anything outside those lines will be outside of what I can put into a mobile device or a mobile screen. Um, I like the theme of the page again because of the runner in the background, and there's a neat scroll feature to this page as well. I chose earth tone colors to kind of make it a little bit more appealing to the eye, a little bit softer. I didn't want to create a stark medical white bright type of site to look at. I wanted it to be a little bit easier and a little bit gentler on the eyes. I chose the ballerina because she's more representative of grace and beauty, which is part of human motion. And then Michelangelo's Vitruvian Man, because it really represents a little bit more of the science and the scientific thought side of the topic I chose, which is basic human motion. I set the page up where I have a Voki avatar as my introduction. He reads generally, but not exactly what the written introduction is here. And I used Vokis on almost all of the pages as an introduction to the topic matter on that page. As we go down the page, we have a hyperlink to an external source that really gives us more information on the page's topic itself. And again, the feature that I really liked about this is as you scroll down the page, the background stays, but the page scrolls past it. And I just thought that was a neat effect. And again, I added my two skeleton men and some quotes here to try to make it more interesting. Now, the other thing I liked about Wix is to get the page functional, all I have to do is switch to my preview mode. So if I go up here to the right-hand side and switch on preview, that'll switch me to the mode that people will see when they come upon the site. On the left-hand side, I can navigate pages two-way. I can navigate pages by pulling them on this drop-down list, which goes through all my pages for me. Click on that, it'll bring me to the page. I can also come up to this list here. And I just liked the ease of working through this site as I was working on it and building it, that I could kind of just very simply go through and get to the pages I wanted to work at any one time. These drop downs correspond with the page lists that I have both here and here. And those become activated when I go into the preview mode over here. I have my save button and my publish. Obviously, I have to publish this before I can get it out on the web, but I can save things on this before I published it. And I liked that as well because it let me do a lot of edits and then go back and check them before I put them online. Now, when I move into my preview mode, that activates the drop-down list and makes this function basically like it will on the website. And again, I use this Voki, and what I liked is these he'll follow that mouse around if I move it around him. I thought that was an interesting feature. He, again, will be the introduction, and that way he basically will introduce the website, and then at each page he will introduce a subject matter on that page. If I go to my drop-down list, you'll see I put on any one of these subjects. I tried to build them in a hierarchy where we start with some very basic terms and very basic concepts, move up into more complex concepts, complex terms, complex ideas, and then divide them out into different regions of the body, the lower extremity, upper extremity, and head and trunk, and then go into kind of a review and test segment as well. So if we go to the movement on the drop-down list, if I move down to the drop-down list, Whatever page I'm going to highlight will light in red. Whatever page I am on at the time will always be highlighted in white. So it's very easy to navigate through here. If I click on the walking and center of mass, it brings me to that page. One of the things I don't like about the Voki is he does load kind of slow in relationship to the rest of the page. But now if I go back to my movement section, I know I'm at the walking and center of mass page because that's now highlighted in white. What I tried to do on a lot of the pages is divide them so that my pictures or my diagrams are on the left, and then my explanations or my definitions are on the right. And again, every page except this one has a hyperlink to an outside site to give you more information. So if we go to Moving Essentials, now here I did not use diagrams or pictures, so most of that is just left justified. But here I have a hyperlink to the outside. Once I hit that hyperlink, it'll light up to let the person know that that is an active button and they can use that. And again, what I tried to do is set it up in a hierarchy. We go from basic motion concepts of walking, of what does gait mean, what is the basic terminology, laid out some diagrams to make it a little bit more understandable. Here I added arrows to show the specific foot I'm referencing as we talk about the various stages of gait. And again, just tried to make that very, very clear for the user. Bottom of the page is all of gait shown together as it occurs. And then again, another hyperlink if the user wants more information on gait. Broke it down into lower extremity, lower limb. We can go through rotation, flexion, extension. This is all of the legs and the hips. Again, another hyperlink button. And I can get to outside information and give more information on that page. And what I wanted to do is set this up as a basic source of information, but allow those who wanted to find out more information the ability to do that by going through the hyperlinks. So again, if I go to head and trunk motions, go to the bottom of the page, and there's a hyperlink to learn more about the spinal column. So again, a lot of this motion occurs in the spinal column, which is why I added that hyperlink. I did put a test yourself area where I start out is with a review. And again, I went back to the background theme here just because I like the way this looks. Again, the Voki takes a little longer to load than the page. I also switched up the Voki in this particular section. Most of the other sections I had a pretty consistent look and a consistent theme, so I kept a consistent Voki and didn't try to use a bunch of different characters, if you will. But in the test yourself section, crossword puzzle, and the question and answer, I chose to change the Voki and use this specific Voki. In this section, I chose to use a video, and this basically just goes over some of the terms. So when I play this video, it'll go over terms of different planes, different motions, and just a good way to get a visual reference that's more than just a picture for the information I'm trying to get across. I added a couple of tests as well. And again, this was actually created with a program called Alice 3.1. It's a Java program for introduction to how to write Java programming, but it allows you to create characters and scenarios and scenes. And I just happened to use it to create these people that I could then get to do the motions that I want, and then narrate them to show what the motions are. Again, just a video as opposed to just looking at pictures. I added a crossword puzzle to help test your knowledge. I really liked the puzzle a lot. And one of the features I liked about the puzzle is you can highlight what you want to work on one of two ways. So if I want to work on number 3 across, I can click it here. It's then highlighted on my crossword puzzle. If I just want to work off the crossword puzzle, I can click here. Now my clue is highlighted over in the across button. Some clues, it'll highlight one. Other clues, it might highlight 2 different answers. So here I've got 4 across, but it also gives me 4 down in a lighter. If I click here, then I will get 4 down. So I like that feature where it was easy to get through the puzzle without it being confusing and not needing a lot of explanation. And again, I do have a Voki at the beginning, and as she's following my cursor, she does explain how to use the puzzle itself. I have a question and answer section. This is basically a drag and drop. Zondel, this was a free service I found. What I liked about this is it takes you through different terminologies, and you just simple drag and drop test. So I just have to take the picture, and it's match the position of the right leg with the particular definition. So in this case, I'm looking at the right leg. I want to match that up with where it goes. And you see, that being wrong, it gave me one more try. It's going to make me do this section over again. So if I drop that down into the right position, then it clicks and stays. If I put it in the wrong position, as you saw, it kicks back up. So instead of doing 4 tests, it'll now do 5, bringing me back through this section again. So if I go do all of my positionings, then it'll bring up the next section, and it automatically brings it up for me. Now I have to match all these pictures up with these terms. And pretty simple to drag and drop them through. Get them into place, they stay. If you don't, it'll give you a feedback and kick it back out for you again. Okay, so it's bringing me through these terms. And again, just simple drag and drop, very, very simple to do. Here we have definitions that we have to go through. Again, it's just a simple matching. Now it's going to bring me back over the section that I had done wrong before so that I can have another chance at getting these right. So we go through these again. And if I get them all right, then it'll bring me out to my score. And there I can see my score. Obviously, if I had gone through this and not gotten anything wrong, I could have gotten the 75. But like I said, what I wanted to show was that you start out with the 4 games. If you make a mistake, it's going to make you go through that section again to make sure that you recover that information. And I have the ability to turn the sound on and off. And that's basically the overview of my site. I chose the Vokies to kind of give a visual and a more of an interactive introduction to each page. I chose the earth tone colors in this background on the home page and the test yourself page, while where any of these other pages I just went with the straight background like this. Now if I want to make changes, I go back into the editor mode. I also chose, the font I chose was, and this should be the, that's not right. This should be the Old Sans is the font that I was choosing through all of this. Where are we here? Open Sans is the font that I had been using through this. So that's what all of these should be, is that Open Sans. And part of that, yeah, see, there we go. And part of that is because I found and was reading that that was a good font for online, very clean, very easy to read. I tried to keep the areas where I had a lot of text up against a nice white background. I had tried some colors, but they didn't seem to work well with the printing, so I just kept that white. And that is the overview and the rationale for my web page. And we're back to the home.